Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Life gets easier with great assists, and State Farm is here to dish one your way. Get in touch over the phone or on the app to get the teammate you need. State Farm with the assist. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Party on Broad. Today, we are reacting to the Eagles' win over the Dallas Cowboys in Week 1. We're also previewing the matchup this Sunday at 4 o'clock against the Kansas City Chiefs. Joining us, Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, man?
Not much. Glad that we got a win. Let's move on to Kansas City and get win number 2.
Also joining us, Rob Lange at Philly_Madness. What's up, Rob?
You know, for all the people that were miserable at the Eagles loss because there were people out, or win because there were people out there, just think of it this way. You could have woke up this morning Baltimore Ravens fans because that loss was embarrassing. That loss was embarrassing.
We were going to jump right into our takeaways from Week 1, but the Eagles do have some breaking news dealing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are sending running back Tank Bigsby to the Birds in exchange for a 2026 5th and 6th round picks per Adam Schefter. Rob, what are your quick thoughts?
The quick thoughts are I've never seen a team make more trades that I'm not mad at, but I just don't understand. Like, I just feel like there were other areas that the Eagles were attacking. But right before we came on, I was telling Dibes, I was reading that it looks like they're looking at Tank Bigsby to be a dynamic kickoff returner, something that they started to mull around, seeing as though it looks like you're going to have a lot more opportunities to return kicks this year. So I guess we'll see from there. Listen, the Eagles have made a lot of trades. We have positions I'm sure we're going to talk about. We like to see them make moves in, but hey, I don't hate it. I mean, I think Tank Bigsby is a good player, so why not? Add him to the team.
Ryan?
Yeah, this was a little bit of a shocker. I was kind of hoping it would be for a corner, but this either to me means that they are completely unhappy with their return staff, or maybe Will Shipley's ribs are a little bit more injured than previously thought, or maybe it might be kind of more of a lingering thing, and they know that AJ Dillon maybe isn't that guy to kind of carry a load should they need. So Tank Bigsby, come on down.
All right. It's going to be super exciting to watch Tank Bigsby in Midnight Green going forward. Let's jump right into our reaction and top takeaways against the Dallas Cowboys. I thought Jalen Hurts was terrific. He really, truly carried the Birds, put them on his back. I thought he looked more decisive. I thought he was going through his progressions, going through his reads quicker, more decisively, getting, out of the pocket and getting first downs. He looked fast. He looked powerful running the football. He was getting down when he needed to. This was like the ultimate Jalen Hurts game where he doesn't put up a ton of stats, and the casual fans will just look at the surface stats. But if you watch the game, I thought he was commanding the offense. I thought he looked calm under pressure, and he was under pressure. But I thought this was the quintessential Jalen Hurts game. Efficient, calm, collected, and the leader of the Eagles. So, Rob, what was your thoughts? What was your top takeaway?
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts, look, I think he's done great, but I think the coaches have done great in figuring out how to put him in the best position to do what he does best, right? Like you said, Dibes, he's not going to put up the stat. The stats are not important. It's wins for him. And he does what it takes to win. That team was on that first drive, and that second drive really was him running the football, getting them out of certain situations. I did think the offense was pretty productive throughout the night. I know the score may not say it, but look, that was one of the weirdest games I've ever witnessed, with the Jalen Carter moment in the very beginning, with the hour-and-a-half rain delay, and it's like it took all the momentum away from that team because they get that turnover and then they go in the delay. I guess you can't really predict. I guess you can't predict, but I think they might have gone and scored on that drive because all the momentum had shifted at that point, and then I think that changed it. I thought the offense did very well. I think there's bright spots on the defense, but I also think there are, some glaring question marks that they're going to need to figure out quickly.
Ryan.
Yeah, listen, being down there, it was a long day. But before the game even starts, basically, you lose Ben Van Simmeren for the season. Sorry, Dibes. And Jalen Carter gets kicked out of the game, and everybody's like, what actually happened? And it took us a little while in the stadium to kind of get the information. So it really started on a bad note. And obviously the defense kind of suffered there, losing your best player. That's going to happen. But yeah, look, the offense was efficient in the beginning, 3 for 3. And I thought, again, Jalen Hurts was, taking what the defense gave him. AJ Brown was clearly hurt. And obviously you could tell he just wasn't running clean routes, fast routes. And I think the defense knew that, so they kind of focused more on Devontae. So there wasn't a lot for him to throw. So he took what he got and he ran when he needed to. And I thought he did really well. And obviously the rain delay killed any momentum, and they were lucky to get out of there with a victory, being as sloppy as they played.
All right. Another big takeaway for the Birds has to be John Campbell. We were awaiting John Campbell for his first game with the Birds, and man, I thought he really stepped up. 56 total snaps on defense, 3 tackles, a forced fumble, 2 targets in coverage, 1 reception allowed for -3 yards, a passer rating allowed of 56.3, a pass deflection. The dude's just so versatile, and you can see his ability to be a playmaker in so many different facets, whether that's on the defensive line as a pass rusher, filling in gaps, tackling, and then dropping back into coverage, man. It's going to be so exciting to watch him get groomed under Zach Bond for the foreseeable future. It's just, you now have 2 elite level linebackers, and that is just super exciting. And lastly, I thought Jordan Davis really stepped up after Jalen Carter went down. I think Davis played his second most snaps in his career, something along those lines. I thought Jordan Davis, it wasn't perfect, but it was everything we needed. And major shout out to Davis, who had like 6 tackles, tackle for loss, things like that. I thought it was a great Jordan Davis game. Ryan, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the defense certainly held their own, considering they were down their best player, and yeah, obviously Jahad Campbell was the surprise. I did not think he would look that good in his first game, to be perfectly honest. It's not like he had 10 tackles or anything like that, but he was where he needed to be. He made plays when he needed to make plays, and yeah, he was. I thought he played very smart, very aware of his place and his role in that defense.
Brett Eclipse says, so glad Hurts got 2 scramble touchdowns. Hate when people discredit him as a tush push merchant, even though the Green Bay Packers were out there last night and there was a tush push on 4th and 1. Rob, any thoughts, final thoughts before we roll into the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think the Eagles have got to figure out this second corner. Adoree Jackson did not look good, and that's being polite. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if the answer's here, but look, first of all, I wasn't really sure what the plan was early, because it just seemed like it was CeeDee Lamb versus Adoree Jackson early in that game. And then I think a little bit of an adjustment was made from that point on. But, I don't understand. Did Ringo do that bad that he couldn't even get a shot in that game? Because, I mean, Adoree Jackson was horrible. Like, not just bad, he was horrible.
Yeah.
So they've got to figure this out, and they've got to figure it out now.
Yeah, pretty much every single target went towards Adoree Jackson. It's very clear, and that's a concern. We talked about this many times on this show. I think it's got to be Jacorian Bennett. I think he needs his shot. Hasn't really shown that he deserves it, but at this point, you're either going, I think, Jacorian Bennett, or you're going with some guy that's not on the roster just yet. Krabby says, Ruben R. Diddy, 2 of the only non-EPPN guys I follow, were as upbeat as anyone I've heard when analyzing this game. Bright Eclipse says, can't wait to see the pass rush with more Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Darius Smith.
Darius Smith, yeah.
And then I think Jacorian Bennett's going to be the starter by week 4, if not sooner. Agreed. And that's the problem, is like Adoree Jackson has had how many weeks, and he still looks lost. Like, it looks like he's still learning the defense, doesn't know where to be. And all things considered, I know Vic Fangio adjusted really well in the second half, but, the way they covered CeeDee Lamb was not great as well. And the way they didn't bracket him, the way they kind of left. I mean, it's one thing to do it with D. Slay, leave him on an island and, hope for the best. And D. Slay made a lot of plays last year, but you can't do that with Adoree Jackson. That's playing him so soft and playing him 8 yards back and hoping for a good result. It was foolish. It was just foolish. So as much as I want to criticize Adoree Jackson, I didn't think he was put in position to succeed on Thursday. So let's roll into the Chiefs. We're going to talk Eagles offense versus Chiefs defense, top matchups to watch. Ryan, do you got one?
Yeah. I'm certainly curious how this passing game for the Eagles offense is going to look against, the likes of Trent McDuffie and this Chiefs passing game. Obviously, that was kind of the big story for the offense after week 1, is, just how, I'll be honest, how bad they looked. I mean, A.J. Brown got 1 target, and that was right at the end of the game, and Devontae Smith barely had targets, and Jahan Dotson obviously took advantage of that, thankfully. Obviously, we want to see a more complete kind of game with the wide receivers. Dallas Goedert looked great, got, 6 or 7 catches. That's great, but your number 1 and number 2 options need to be heavily involved, and that's, I think, what I want to see come this Chiefs game.
All right. Just to piggyback off of that, that's exactly what I had as well. For me, it's the Eagles receivers versus the Chiefs secondary. Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen absolutely carved up the Chiefs secondary. Keenan Allen came back to life, had a touchdown. Quentin Johnston looked like a competent wideout. 2 touchdowns. Ladd McConkey in the slot makes me really excited for what Jahan Dotson could do this coming Sunday afternoon. And then you look at last year, and the last time, I mean, a lot of people are talking about the lack of A.J. Brown, the lack of a passing attack. The last time that happened was against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Jalen Hurts came out on a mission. He got this passing game cooking. He went off for nearly 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, a passer rating of 125. AJ and Devontae both went over 100, 19 receptions, 2 touchdowns. And then Jalen Hurts spoke at the podium going, it was something along the lines of like, that's what you wanted to see, huh? Like, and it was a great statement for Jalen Hurts. And I feel like we never give him enough credit. Like, he always does what we need him to do. I wasn't really upset about the lack of a passing attack in the first half, especially because they were getting yards. I don't really care if they pass, run, scramble, whatever. As long as the offense is efficient, that's what I'm looking for. Rob, what's your matchup?
Well, just to kind of piggyback off that, when I think Kevin Patullo was a little, shall we say, conservative in the play calling, I don't think that they went deep enough. And I'm not saying that that's how he's always going to be. I wonder if it was more like you just said, Dibes, take what the defense is giving you. But I would have liked to seen them, A.J. Brown's the type of guy, you've got to try and get him targets. Even if they're not going to be caught, you have to force some targets there at some point. No way should he go 3 quarters without a target. But for me, look, I thought the Eagles' offensive line was okay, but I don't think they were great. And teams are going to stack the box. So I'll be interested to see what the Eagles do to kind of answer that against the Chiefs this week. If they're going to stack the box, how are they going to answer that with blocking schemes and things of that nature? Because you still want to make sure that Saquon is getting his. So I'd like to look at that. I mean, listen, there's something going on in Kansas City that isn't a positive for them. All right. And you kind of saw from the Super Bowl last year and then the way this game went on Friday night where something's missing. Something is missing. So I think it's up to the Eagles to figure out where their biggest weaknesses are and take advantage. But I'm interested to see the line play on both sides, the Eagles offensive line versus the Chiefs defensive line, and what that looks like, because I like to see the Eagles offensive line look a little bit more in sync and put together this week.
Yeah, the Chiefs D-line feels like they're relying on Chris Jones as much as they do with Jalen Carter, but Chris Jones isn't getting any younger. I think they have depth issues at defensive line and in the secondary with the Chiefs. And with the Chiefs, they just have a lot of youth that they need to groom and develop. So it's a really good time for the Eagles receivers and tight ends and things like that to carve them up for sure. We have a comment from Brett Eclipse asking, would you rather have a Dory Jackson or a 2023 James Bradbury? Any comments?
Oh my God. I mean, Adoree Jackson's only been 1 game, so I'll stick with him.
And the price tag, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's roll on to the flip side. Let's go Eagles defense versus Chiefs offense. Eagles defense versus Chiefs offense. For me, it's Nolan Smith versus right tackle Jawan Taylor. Jawan Taylor stinks. That Chiefs O-line is really solid, but he's really the true weak spot of that O-line. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Kingsley, Suamataia, Jonathan Simmons, they're good, but this guy, Jawan Taylor, has led the NFL in penalties with 20 penalties in 2023. He had 16 in 2024, and in week 1, he had 4 penalties. He had 2 false starts and 2 holding calls. He also gave up 4 pressures. So big game for Nolan Smith to really get his first sack. He had 4 pressures against the Cowboys, 4 quarterback hurries, 2 run stops. And I thought the Terrence Steele matchup was really good for him. Didn't get it done. I would like to see Nolan Smith lead this edge rusher group and get home, like they kind of failed to do against the Dallas Cowboys. Ryan, what's your matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of extend that to the general pass rush. The Eagles' pass rush last week wasn't good. Well, it wasn't necessarily bad, but again, they just weren't able to get home. They were close so many times, and combine that with the fact that Dak was getting the ball out very quickly, most of his throws. So yeah, I mean, they're going to have to deal with that again with Mahomes, as he does kind of the same thing where he likes to get the ball out quick. But they need to do a much better job at putting pressure, getting into space, affecting throws, because if it wasn't for, CeeDee Lamb dropping a few balls, this game might be a different outcome.
Agreed. Rob?
Well, I'm looking at, I believe that there's going to be some sort of discipline, and the Eagles are going to be without Jalen Carter again. So sticking with this line idea, it's going to be, can the defensive tackles do enough? I'm going to say against the run. A lot of 5-6 yard runs for Javonte Williams early in that game. Yeah. Jordan Davis was great. I thought Morajoma played well, but whatever the issue was, and look, everything changes when you practice all week, figuring Jalen Carter is going to be doubled and everybody else is going to be one-on-one. So I'm looking at the defensive tackles in this game from the standpoint that I don't believe Jalen Carter is going to be available. I do believe there's going to be a suspension for a game, and I'd like to see these guys step up and make sure that the Chiefs become one-dimensional.
All right, let's roll into our top X factors heading into week 2. Ryan, who's your X factor in this one?
I am going to say Jalen Hunt.
Wow, man.
I really did like his game last Thursday. There were probably about 3 or 4 instances where I can remember him being like just a hair short, and a few times where he could have easily forced a fumble. And I just think, when you're that close, it's right there. You're so hungry for it. I have a feeling that he's going to get home for at least a sack and potentially a forced fumble.
All right. That's actually where I was going to go. Jalen Hunt for Ryan. Rob, who's your X factor Sunday?
I'm going to Dallas Goedert. I thought early in that game, Dallas Goedert was, he was the guy that was being left open, and I thought Jalen Hurts was finding him. I thought there was a rapport there. I think that continues this week, but I think it goes a step further. I think Goddard gets into the end zone and, maybe has, the catches weren't for a lot of yards. I think he gets more yards. He may have like a 75, 80-yard day and a touchdown.
Reddit Clip says NBC Sports reported no news on the suspension point. Points to likelihood he won't be suspended. Fingers crossed.
They don't do anything until Tuesday. They wait until the league's done for the week. So tomorrow, if nothing is done tomorrow, then maybe. But
okay, I'm going to agree with Tech. The X factor is passing. Given how much the Chiefs' defense was carved in the slot, I'm going to go Jahan Dotson. I'm going to go Dotson this week. He's not going to get like McConkey, 6 receptions or anything, but maybe a couple big plays that is a big, momentum shift in this game on Sunday. So I'm going to go Jahan Dotson. Let's throw up our stats from last week. We'll see who's got the lead so far as we get into prop bets.
It's definitely not.
Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And this one is specifically for new customers who can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PINPULL. That's code PINPULL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That is 467369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bet expires 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at nflsundayticket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
All right. Can you guys see that? All right. There it is. All right. Leading with 7 points is Rob from last week. And then Ryan and I are both tied at 6. Let's run to week 2, and we'll go Saquon Barkley over under 49.5 rushing yards. 49.5. Ryan.
If he doesn't get over, there's something wrong with this offense. So he's getting over.
Over for Ryan. Rob.
I think there's going to be a heavy emphasis on the pass. I think the box is going to be full again. I'm going to go under.
I am also with you. I think this is going to be the pattern of 2025. Teams take out Saquon, and we rely on the passing game. A.J. Brown over under 89.5 receiving yards. Ryan.
Well, I'm going to say under. I still think he's hurt.
Under. I don't think he's Ryan. Rob.
I think it's under, but I think it's under because I think they're going to go a lot of different directions. I don't think it's going to be like, just get the ball to this guy. I think, 6-7 receivers could catch passes this week.
Yep. The statement game. This is the A.J. Brown game. I think the Eagles go to A.J. Brown and go early. Hollywood Brown, over under 89.5 receiving yards. I'm going to pound the over on this one. The Chiefs have injured receivers all over the place. Hollywood Brown's going to get a lot of targets. Ryan?
Yeah, I think he's really the only legit weapon they have outside of, old as hell Travis Kelce. So, yeah, I'll go with the over.
Rob?
Yeah, no, I think because he's the only receiver they have, that Quinyon will get with him quite a bit. And I'm going to say under. I think the Eagles will find a way to keep him a little bit more bottled up. And I'll hit the under on that.
Over under Jalen Hurts passing yards 219.5. Ryan.
I'll say over.
Okay. Rob?
I don't love this game for the Eagles. I'm just going to be very honest and say that out loud. But I have literally gone under the first 3 bets, and I feel like I need to make a switch, so I'm going to go over here.
Over for Rob. Also
Mark
going
that.
over. Jalen Hurts, 2.5 touchdowns. Ryan?
Is this scoring or throwing?
Both.
Oh, both.
Over.
Over. Rob?
I'll go over. What the hell?
I'm going to go under. Dallas Goedert, over under total receptions, 5.5.
Over.
Over for Ryan.
Over. He was my X factor, baby.
By the way, I loved how they went to him early and often at the start of the game, and especially in the middle of the field. That was nice.
Yes.
Give me the over.
Then they ignored.
Eagles defense, over under total team sacks, 1.5. Ryan.
That's over. They gotta get home.
Rob?
Yeah, I think they get at least 2 this week. I'll go over.
Agreed. Jalen Carter, over under half a sack. Ryan?
I'll just play the odds and say under, considering he may be suspended.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the under here as well.
I will go over. Patrick Mahomes, over under interceptions, 0.5. Ryan?
Over.
Rob?
I'm going to say under.
I'm going to go under. I think he's going to have a really good game. This is a big game for him. Revenge game. Travis Kelce, over under total touchdown, 0.5. Ryan?
I'm going to say under.
Under for Ryan. Rob?
I'm going over. I think Kelce gets in the end zone.
Agreed.
And gives Taylor Swift a kiss.
Saquon Barkley, over under total touchdowns, 1.5.
Under.
Under.
All under. I'll go over. Why not? And then Chiefs defense, over under total team sacks, 2.5. Ryan?
Under.
Rob?
I'm going to go over.
We're over as well. And then player of the game. Rob, who you got?
All right, Brian's going to fight me. I got Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes has a rebound game here. I think he's unbelievable this game and probably leads his team to victory.
Ryan?
I'm definitely going to fight you. It's Jay Hurts, baby.
So good. I will go A.J. Brown for my player of the game. That wraps it up. I'm going to hit that button. There we go. Rob, final thoughts on this one? Plugs, time's yours.
Yeah, so, look, I'm a big fan of ebb and flow in the NFL. I think revenge game in Kansas City coming off a really bad game last week. Eagles not playing great, but getting a win at home when they drop their banner against a divisional foe. It's a tough spot for the Birds. It's a tough spot for the Birds. It doesn't mean that they're not a good team. It doesn't mean that the season's going to fall apart, but I think that they are going to take an L on Sunday afternoon at Arrowhead. But listen, if they don't, this team will just prove once again that when the lights are at the brightest, they show up. So let's see, how they handle, because this is good. This is a really, really tough spot for them.
Yep. Ryan?
I'd just like to say, Rob, you show up, every other episode now.
It's 2 in a row.
And
you're like the Temple Owls. First back-to-back wins.
Yeah.
2019.
Quiet.
Bro, horns up.
Quiet.
Horns up.
I'm talking. Quiet, please.
We can't hear you over your white noise.
Anyway, and then you basically stab everybody in the back, proving that
have that much power.
you're a Chiefs fan. You always have been. That's okay.
Well, I mean, you must have been crying on Thursday night when your Cowboys lost. I know that.
I was happier than you know what. Except for that rain delay. That sucked.
Yeah.
Although I did get to see a fight in the concourse, so that was cool.
Did you stay for the whole game?
Yeah, oh yeah. I got home at like 2:30ish.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. So,
yeah.
Now, listen, the Eagles were a little sloppy. Yeah, penalties, inefficiency. The offense looked dry and vanilla. I personally think that was done on purpose, and they are going to break it all out for the Chiefs, and they are going to whoop that ass once again and prove to everybody, Nick Wright and every other national media scumbag, that the Philadelphia Eagles are the team to fear. Us. Don't forget it.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching. He is Philly_Madness, the Rob Langy. That is Ryan at Philly_Philly Sports PSA. I'm Ty's Mr. Crockpot. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
No one's finding Ryan on Twitter today.
Stay awesome, everyone.